Hello, and where did you go this Easter? Your living room or your kitchen? On the 4th of April, as you know, I was looking forward to meeting you at the Move for Parkinson's Gala community event in Ballina. That will still happen, but not for several months yet. So in lieu of my presentation, I wanted to say a few words now because the whole world is in turmoil. At the time of this recording, more than 2 million people have been infected with coronavirus and 127,000 people have died. Tasmania has had to close 2 hospitals. 5,000 Tasmanians have been quarantined in their homes for 2 weeks. Millions of people are out of work and financially compromised. And everyone, I think absolutely everywhere, is practicing strict social distancing. But every crisis brings with it opportunity. And the bigger the crisis, the bigger the opportunity. As you well know, actor Michael J. Fox was struck with Parkinson's disease at the age of 30 years. It was the height of his career. But rather than being bitter, he regards himself as blessed. In his autobiography, he writes, and I am paraphrasing because I haven't memorized it exactly word for word, but the essence of it is this. He says, coping with the relentless assault of Parkinson's disease and the accumulating damage to my brain is not easy. Nobody would ever choose to have this visited upon them. But for everything that Parkinson's has taken away from me, something of even greater value has been given. Even if that something was just to push me to travel a path I would never have otherwise discovered. A path that enriched my life in ways I could never have imagined. Never have Michael's words been more apt. Not only does he offer a really empowering perspective for people with Parkinson's disease, he offers a brilliant way to manage the corona crisis. So what's the opportunity in this? The coronavirus has pushed every single one of us to travel a path we didn't choose. There's no denying the suffering it's imposed. But maybe it's a path that could lead to a better life. Maybe it's the pause we all needed, the world needed, so that we could ask ourselves, how can I live a more meaningful life? A stronger, healthier, happier person? I mean, how happy were we all before Corona anyway? Exactly 1 year ago, in April 2019, data from the PBS, which is the Australian Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme, showed that, wait for this, 3 million Australians were taking antidepressants. That's about 1 in 8 people. That means a lot more than 3 million people are depressed because not everyone seeks medical help. I don't know about you, but I think there's something fundamentally not right about 1 in 8 people having to take medication to make them feel better. And now is an opportunity to set things right, to gain an understanding of what really matters, to heal our existential wounds and emerge more aware and truly more appreciative of what life's all about. It's an opportunity to make life better for yourself, your family, and your community. So my message to you is don't waste this crisis. Corona is shaking up a world that needed shaking up. Don't waste it. Use it to clarify what's truly important and to reevaluate what you're doing with this one precious life of ours. Unless, of course, you're a Buddhist and you get to come back, but not necessarily as a person. So Buddhists aren't off the hook either. So how do we go about making our lives and the world a better place? The media is portraying the corona pandemic as though it were a war. And in many ways, it is like a war. There are people on the front line. There are casualties. People are dying and people are having to endure rations and restrictions. But the media and our leaders have painted the wrong enemy. The enemy is not coronavirus. The enemy is complacency. And complacency has been our enemy for a long time. Complacency about our fast-paced, furious, frantic, speed-obsessed, consumer-driven lives and the effect all that is having on our physical, psychological and emotional well-being. Complacency about having too little sleep and too much stress. complacency about destroying our exquisite natural environment, and complacency about our sedentary lives and social disconnection. We were socially isolated long before the coronavirus came along, just not physically. How many of us really felt connected to our community? How many of us could even define a community we felt part of? If anything, Corona has brought us together, not torn us apart. And the other thing we were complacent about was our ability to make a difference. Most of us were living as though we were too small to matter, as though our choices didn't count and we couldn't change the world no matter what we did. More than anything, Corona has demonstrated that you do make a difference, that our individual actions do matter very, very much, and we can make or break the future course of this pandemic. However, don't stop there. Don't stop making a difference when the coronavirus stops, because our individual actions can make a difference going forward in all areas of our lives, so that we make this world a truly better place. A world in which we value people over profit, compassion over criticism, and generosity over greed. Corona offers each and every one of us a choice about who we want to be. Victim or victor. The victim can't see past their losses, and there's no denying people are experiencing huge losses, not just in terms of finances and freedoms, but also in terms of their identity and their role as breadwinner or business owner. Some people have seen decades of unremitting hard work and personal sacrifice wiped out with just one word: closed. But to take on the persona of victim, even though you might feel that way, just won't help. Regardless of what Corona has imposed on you, you can still emerge as victor. Maybe your life has taken a sharp, unexpected turn, but you still get to choose who you want to be. What do you want to stand for? How do you want to make the world a better, happier, kinder place? How do you want to make you better? Your choices to practice social distancing and avoid public gatherings now are symbolic of the infinite number of positive choices you can make every day of your life for the rest of your life. The choice to forgive, to show kindness, to improve your diet, reduce waste, lessen your carbon footprint, have that important conversation, do what truly fulfills you. We have the mistaken belief that happiness comes from lack of hardship and from achieving our goals. It doesn't. Happiness comes from having a sense of meaning, purpose, and contribution. Our current culture tends to believe that anything that's hard is bad. That's just a limiting belief. It doesn't mean I want things to be hard, but hardship is the price we pay for a more meaningful life, for a deeper appreciation of what we have and what we're capable of. We don't always get what we want, but we always get what we need to grow. Hardship is an opportunity to be the best version of ourselves. What makes us truly happy, and study after study has shown this, is the pursuit, not the attainment of meaningful goals. We're actually happiest when we have a deep sense of purpose and we're working towards something that makes a positive difference to a bigger cause than ourselves. And our deepest fulfillment comes from making a positive difference to others. Fulfillment comes from feeling we're of value to our fellow human, and we never ever lose that need. And our greatest value comes from our capacity to love, our capacity to listen without judgment. If you love someone, you're contributing to their life immeasurably, just by loving them. If someone loves you, whether you love them back or not, but if someone loves you, then you're also contributing to their life, because there's nothing more fulfilling than to have someone to love. So either way, whether you love someone, and that includes an animal, or whether someone loves you, and that also includes an animal, right there, you have the most profound and wonderful way of contributing to someone's life. And often it takes a crisis to make us realize that. Crisis. Read challenge. Makes us come alive. Crisis wakes us up from the stupor of an unexamined life. Crisis enables us to discover who we really are and the impact we have in directing the course of not only our own lives, but that of the whole world. Crisis sharpens our focus and clarifies our priorities. Crisis stretches us to achieve more than we ever thought possible. Crisis reveals our strengths. And crisis is what connects us more deeply than anything else. To that end, Corona has been especially generous in that it's affected every single person on the planet. It's a total equalizer. Young, old, male, female, gender neutral, transgender, rich, poor, educated, illiterate, every race, creed, colour, temperament. Everyone in the whole world has been affected in one way or another. Think about that. It's extraordinary. After Corona, everyone in the world will have something in common with everyone else in the world. Wow. Think about the implications. The coronavirus has stopped wars. Saudi Arabia declared a ceasefire in Yemen, a move that could pave the way for ending a brutal 5-year conflict. How many people are not going to die because of Corona? The questions I'm asking you are not rhetorical. They're a call to action, a call for you to decide what you're going to make Corona mean for you. Each letter in the word Corona, C-O-R-O-N-A, stands for an action. If you take all 6 actions, you will emerge from this crisis definitely living a more meaningful and fulfilling life as a stronger, healthier, happier person. And by doing so, you'll make the world a better place. So, what does Corona stand for? Here are your 6 calls to action. 1. C stands for clarify. Clarify what's truly important in your life. Actually sit down and write or type the things that give your life true meaning and purpose. And most of the things you write won't be things. Take as long as you need to complete your list. 2. O stands for open. Open your mind to the new possibilities Corona has created in every area of your life. Start with the basics. Time to think, sleep, read, study, paint, prioritize your health, reconnect with people, learn new skills through an online course, start a new hobby, catch up on gardening, declutter your bedroom, do some creative cooking. What are all the doors that opened when the social gathering doors were closed? I've learnt how to predict the weather. Tomorrow will be room temperature. 3. R stands for reflect. Reflect on all the things you feel grateful for. This is an ideal time to make a gratitude box. What's a gratitude box? Find a beautiful box or a big-ish box. Find beautiful paper and wrap it up, or if it's already beautiful, you don't need to do that. Then make sure it has a lid, preferably a lid, and have a slot in the top. And from now on going forward, every time you experience something that you feel grateful for, or you just get this wave of gratitude about your partner, about something your partner did, about your child, about an experience, about a neighbour, about the fact that your orchid opened in front of you, write it down on a piece of paper and put it in your gratitude box. And do this for a whole year. And then on World Gratitude Day every year, now I should have looked that up. It's either the 21st or the 23rd of September every year. Look it up, World Gratitude Day. Sit around the table with your family and read through all the things, and play this game with your whole family. Read through all the things that everybody wrote, made them feel grateful throughout the course of the year. It will be an unbelievably connecting beautiful night. We do this every year in our household. I actually started it because my father got dementia and was no longer able to remember things. So this was a way of helping him remember. But I found that I forgot so many of the things, beautiful things that I was grateful for throughout the year. Do this and you will continue to notice more and more things in your life to be grateful for, because the gratitude box will be there to remind you. Young children love this, because when something gorgeous happens in their lives, they will say, oh, that's one for the gratitude box. Do this, it will transform your life. That alone will make you feel healthier, happier, and more empowered and more in control of your life. I mean, I could have done this whole talk on the health benefits of gratitude. I'll spare you that for now. 4. Okay, so we've done C-O-R. O. So the second O. O stands for outline. After you've made your gratitude box, outline how you will live your life to reflect what's truly important to you, to reflect the things you wrote in the first step under clarify. Including this step, and this is especially significant now that a lot of us are on tight budgets because our incomes have been reduced, if not curtailed altogether. Include in this step how you might spend your money more consciously to truly enrich your life. What expenses, when you really examine them, are unnecessary? What things are unnecessary? And conversely, what purchases really do matter to you? Whether it's because you're supporting a cause or giving to a charity or something you really appreciate the beauty or benefit of having, that's fine. You can spend your money on whatever you want. Just make sure you're spending it consciously and you really value and appreciate what it is that you've spent your money on. Now is the time for reevaluating and reassessing everything in our lives. And N, number 5. N stands for never. Never let the media tell you you're a victim. Never let the media dictate your response or take you off course. Choose to be a victor. Victor doesn't mean you've got to manage everything and never show any weakness. Victor means someone who communicates their needs, who is not afraid to ask for help when they need it, and is equally ready to help others in whatever way they can. Remember, the purpose of the media is to make you keep watching, listening and reading, and it can only do that by creating drama, most of it negative. And the media is full of misinformation. You remember Health Minister Greg Hunt told reporters that the virus doesn't take a holiday. Well, then what was it doing on all those cruise ships? You decide what you're going to make this mean for you. Don't defer to the media. Not now, not ever. And 6. A stands for ask. Ask yourself, how will I leave this world a better place? That could mean giving someone an encouraging smile or a helping hand, or dedicating your life to a charitable enterprise. Ask what daily, weekly, monthly and life decisions you can make that will enable you to look back on your life and say, yep, I did good. Don't waste this crisis. To conclude with the words of Abraham Lincoln, the best way to predict the future is to create it. When the social distancing is over and I have the privilege of meeting you at the rescheduled Move It for Parkinson's event, date to be confirmed, what future will you be in the process of creating? When you look back on this time in your life, when the world was consumed by corona, what do you want to feel proud of? What do you want to feel proud you did or said or decided? What will make you feel that you didn't waste this crisis? What positive turning point can you turn this into?